Hey, what's up, guys? Wanted to make a video. I was basically sitting down and just kind of looking over how the business been doing for the last couple of months, and wanted to make this video just kind of give you guys some input on how things have been going overall, some of the big mistakes I made in the last couple of months, and what I could have done differently to basically overall be in a much better position from where I'm now. Because if you look at how this year went so far, for the most part, I've been pretty much stuck in the same place. There was been little to no progress on a month-to-month basis whatsoever, really. Out of the whole year so far, only 1 month was when I got some increase in revenue and I made some sales. That was in March. That was the time when I made those videos. We're like, all right, really, let's go for it, and got some sales to come in. But other than that, I took a long break over the winter. I didn't sell January, February, and then after March, I didn't really get back into the sales side almost at all. Last month, I sold some extra websites here and there to bring in some more revenue, but even now, this month, I'm back to around 41K, which is pretty much what's been the same since like March. So I wanted to basically give you guys some perspective on what's been going on and why this stage here is notorious for getting people kind of stuck. All right. Okay. So I'm going to share with you guys two of the biggest things, and they're just going to be overview items, and then probably in future videos I might touch on some specific points in these because they're pretty big topics. Number one is hiring. As you get past 30K a month, you begin to realize that hiring becomes crucial, right? Delegating becomes crucial. And I'm not just talking about building some systems so your VAs can take on. I'm talking about you start to realize the importance of needing people who are very good at what they do, right? If you look at the biggest companies in the world, you can see that one of their main efforts, main focuses is on consistently recruiting the best talent on the planet to come join their team. If you see Google or any other companies, you can see it's almost like a race to who can get the highest quality talent to join their company as fast as possible and build a culture where the most talented people in the world will want to come work for them, etc. Right? Why is that so? And those kind of questions start becoming a reality at 30-40K, right? I would say. I don't think it's absolutely necessary. I'm pretty sure you could still scale more by like having VAs and stuff like that, this kind of structure, probably to like 100K. But you start to realize the importance of those things, right? I got 4 books I've been listening, like all the audiobooks I've been listening to lately have been about hiring, right? The first book was Traction. I then read Rocket Fuel, both recommended from a mentor of mine. Then now I'm reading a book called Who. And one of the core similarities between these kind of books is exactly this. The idea that even if you mess up every other part of your business, if you have the right people put in the right positions, you will still scale. You will still do fine, grow, and be successful. Because in the end of the day, all a company is the sum of the people that are basically behind, responsible for it, right? If I was able to hire somebody with my strengths, let's say, where I was, let's say 2 years ago, I didn't know anything, right? But I probably had it in me to work with a decent level of work ethic. That's why I was able to make some sales, right? So if I was to be able to have a hiring process right now to find those kind of people and bring them in, even if I just got one more person, it would make an insane difference in my business. In fact, I probably wouldn't need anything else to hit my year's goals in terms of revenue. I only sold 1 month out of this year, right? Only 1 month where I got to basically sell full time the way I would like to. And that's the only month we had some growth. Other than that, every other month was pretty much exactly where it stays in, just kind of stuck, right? So if I had somebody who was able to do what I do, right, and which is, a lot more, should be a lot more possible because they are doing that full time, right? So if I'm able to produce like 3-4 clients a month when I'm selling full time, let's say they're able to do that, I would be, instead of at 41K, I would have been, if I had that person since March. So March was what, 43K, right? 44, 45, 46, 47 in April, 48, 49, 50, 51 in May, 51, 52, 53, 54 in June, and 55, 56, 57, 58 in July. So I should have been almost at 60K per month now that July is ending. But I am stuck back in March. So just to give you guys an idea of how powerful hiring can be, that's just hiring for one part of the business, only one person to be able to do just what I did, and replicate that, and they're doing it full time, right? So that's one thing that comes as a huge thing. You start waking up to it. And I did mention to you guys that I had some trouble, hiring some people. One of them was an integrator. I had like 3 people come in. I had no clue about what job they're going to actually do. I just wanted them to come in and kind of learn as they go. It was a complete failure. I will make a video about that. But overall, one of the biggest things I learned over the last couple of months is just purely about the importance of hiring properly. And regardless of what you do after 30, 40, 50K, 100K, wherever your mark is, you're going to have to wake up to the point that talent is going to be a huge part of how you grow your business, not just about sporadically trying to find someone and then taking the first person on that comes your way, but having a system in place where you can qualify them and then they come through a path, maybe through a few tests, interview processes, etc. Maybe another part of your team, another part of your business takes care of it, maybe my assistant, until the final interview might be you. Whatever it is. But that kind of process in place that you can turn on and off, like paid advertising, funnel system, almost like a sale, actually. Except the close is a person this time. And that's the direction I'm kind of going in. And that's why I'm just reading these books. I'm taking a shit ton of notes. So as I'm kind of being a slob and watching these TV shows, I'm still doing some reading here and there and kind of just taking some notes and really taking a step back. And learning one of the biggest skills that I'm going to be needing to grow this business to the next stage. So that's number 1. Number 2, right? So there's 2 big things, right? One is the hiring. Number 2 is, having very clear understanding of what is it you serve to your clients. This is really important, and this is a pretty basic, going back to the basics, but it becomes more important as you start to scale, right? Around 30, 40, 50K a month. Because this is the time where little things that we overlook when we only have 5, 10, 15 clients, let's say, little things we overlook now become big at this stage, right? Meaning, let's say when you have 5 clients, right? And you have a somewhat of a process that you're using to get them results. If one of them is not getting the results, well, you're probably on it. And since you only have 5, you actually, you kind of know in the back of your head where each person is. And if someone's not kind of lags behind, you can delve in with your own time, get in there in the trenches and tweak through and see exactly what needs to be done, some extra push, whatever, whatnot. Boom, it's good. But once you start getting 20, 30 clients, that thing that only happens once a month or here and there when it's needed, if your product is not up to a standard, that will happen almost every week. You have enough clients for somebody to be questioning the value of the service every single week. So you really have to take a look from beginning to end, exactly what is it that you're serving your clients, right? It's not just about doesn't mean that your product is, has to be targeted right away. Although that's where most of the people will have trouble in, is really taking their product to the next level. But you can even start with expectation setting, right? What is it you're promising? I've been doing some, talking to some mentors here and there, and I realized that a lot of people still do not promise phone calls. They basically gear everything towards ranking higher in Google, which is a complete different type of deliverable than promising holistic results, right? When I talk to clients, I'm basically telling them, look, this is the type of things we do. We take care of everything from the website to the on page, like the content, outbound links, whatever, and all this stuff, Google Posts, GMB, all this shit. We even help you with review building, etc. Like they aid in all kinds of almost like mentorship as well. Holistic product to make sure you are successful in your business on the digital marketing side. That's a completely different type of responsibility than just you're going to rank. Because in here, your clients can rank, and if it's not converting, it's not your fault, right? If they're ranking well and you deliver what you're supposed to, then you're fine. And if you set that expectation, there's nothing wrong with that. That's just your model. But here, you're taking a much more responsibility, meaning if something happens, if they're not even able to convert and all this other stuff, whatever happens, you're taking responsibility, whether you know it or not, right? You telling them that their business is going to grow in the sales process is taking that responsibility. Now, I'm not moving away from there. I'm just giving you guys some insight of what can happen and what things can come back and shoot you in the foot if you're not aware of it. I realize this now, and I still want to stay in my side of the court. And to be honest, partly it's because of the industry I'm in, right? If you're in the home services, it's generally speaking, you should be more leaning towards this side. Whereas if you're working with lawyers, doctors, who already very well value, a lot of times, more often than not, the value of ranking and SEO itself, like the pure rankings, then it's probably a bit more easier to be on this side. Because then, as long as you're ranking well and they're looking at your traffic and all this other kind of higher level metrics, if you want to call it that, more technical stuff, they're okay with it. Whereas contractors, a lot of times, they don't care. They're just trusting you, making sure, you checking out with you as long as like the initial months, like you set the expectation. But then when the time comes, 4, 5, 6 months, whatever you told them, they're going to want phone calls, right? So partly it's due to the industry, but and the other part of it is because of what my preference is. I would like to be known as the guy who does a one-stop holistic shop, right? But it doesn't mean that is the right way to do it. I've been also doing a lot of contemplating on if we should let go of websites. Time and time again, every time I check the type of requests we get, most of the time, 8 out of 10 times, customer service stuff that's like making, taking a lot of my time from my assistant and making my team run in circles, is to do with IT issues, email issues, website issues. Like website alone is a big issue, right? And when it comes to the growth of the company for us, websites is not a big part of it at all, right? I charge like $1,500 on the higher end for websites, and on the lower end like $750, most of the time for free, just to close the sale. So I'm looking to make a business decision where should I just say we don't do websites anymore, and maybe just get a vendor that we always give that and refer them off to, so that anytime there's something wrong with the websites, they can deal with the vendor. It's a decision I'm going to have to make, because no matter how good of a job we do in the website service part, when the push comes to shove, and if they're not generating phone calls, they could cancel the service. They would cancel the service. So why are we spending so much time and effort doing something that doesn't help me get clients, has nothing to do with sales, and doesn't really help with bringing clients more calls per se? You could, be controversial with that to a certain degree, but all things being equal, if the website is decent and they're ranking and it's not your responsibility, it's probably going to be doing more good than not in terms of making it easy for you to stick to your things that you promised them in terms of the SEO side, right? All right, so hopefully you got what I mean. These are the type of questions that you want to ask yourself around this time, preferably before you get here, so you don't make huge mistakes like me and get stuck in the business for most of the year. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Like I said, I'm not going to get into too much into each part. I just wanted to give you a couple of the bigger questions here, a couple of the bigger questions in the first part. But hiring and really understanding with what results you are looking to deliver for your target audience, target market, making it very clear between yourself first, so you are very concise of what you know exactly what you're delivering, then your team members, than your clients. And that should start from the moment you talk to them, right? That process starts on the sales call in the expectation setting and then follows through on a month to month basis. Okay. It's insane, guys. This is the last thing I'll say. It's insane how much expectation setting can do. And I feel it myself now for the first time. After getting to around 40K a month, I've been trying some services here and there, and I've been able to even be self-aware about how I grade people that I'm paying money to, right? Because before I didn't have anybody that I would pay more than, $1,000, $2,000. Expectation setting is huge because even as a small, company like me, I'm able to realize that if I'm promised a certain thing and it falls short like just a little bit, and let's say it was a big promise, I'll be upset. But if I'm promised a certain thing that's very concise and the person knows exactly and that we're very clear on what's going to be delivered, as soon as they deliver that, I feel really good. Like, it's just a basic way to explain it. I could probably make a whole video on it, but understand thoroughly expectation setting and exactly what you promise. Understand the value in it. Make sure that, don't be like shooting low for no reason. Make sure it's something you can deliver and it actually provides true value. It does not need to go over and beyond with all kinds of bells and whistles just to get the sale, because those are the type of things that are going to bite you in the, come back and shoot you in the foot. I think that's the same. So yeah. All right, guys. So that's pretty much it. Hope that helped. So last thing, just to give you guys an idea. Last year, what the graph was looking like, if you see, one second. Now this is consistency. I wasn't making a lot of money, but you can see throughout the months, I consistently went up sales. Like, there's been very few times that I was stuck for multiple times. Like right here is a little stuck, right here is a little stuck, but it's nothing like this time right here. This is the definition of stuck. It's literally the same place for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points in a row. So, oh man. Alright guys, that's it. The only part that makes me feel at calm a bit, even though things are kind of all over the place and gloomy right now, is the fact that since the time I have decided to not use my phone and kind of passed on the customer service part to my assistant, I've been realizing for one of the first times the true freedom of this business that it can bring. I finally was able to realize it, and it's at 40K. I realized it at 40K. I thought I realized it before, but it was not really. I couldn't really that wasn't it. It was just me being able to take a vacation while I'm running the business, which is not the same. Right now, finally, I can tell that even if I work couple hours a week, at least this revenue keeps coming in, right? And that I could say is one of the things that makes me a little happy. That hey, look, even though I'm stuck and things are not going well, at least that the part that I reached, the maintenance of it is quite minimal. Right? How much work needs to be done to maintain this revenue is not so much at all, especially my own hours and time, right? So I wanted to end on a positive note after this entire thing, just so you guys can understand that it's not all like a huge ball of just toughness. But if you're at a point where you have about 10, 12, 15 clients, you're making maybe 15, 20, 30K, understand that after you get around 25, 30 clients and you're more towards 30K, 40K per month, you're going to start getting into these kind of territories where hiring becomes, you start getting introduced to next level, the need for next level hiring, and the need for very concise product that is being communicated in a very clear fashion to your clients, and then having a team and systems in place that can deliver that product and service I would say at least 7 out of 10 times, right? 70% of the time properly. If you're not there, if your base systems are like by itself, without you getting in the trenches, your base systems are only getting like 2 out of 10 clients, 3 out of 10 clients, the results they're supposed to get, you're going to start running into some problems. So hope that makes sense. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Peace.